So, just to tell you a little bit about myself and Ray, first of all, my name is Richard Bradley, and I'm the manager of 2 Street Music in Eureka, California, and I've been doing that for many, many years. And I started playing guitar back in 1966. And back in 1966, when I was a teenager, of course, the first guitar that the highest quality that I ever owned was the same type of guitar, the Gibson SG. Well, back at that time, using the tremolo system was becoming very much a revolutionary concept during that time. So we were all trying to get the highest quality type of tremolo that we could get. Now, Gibson had what was called a little vibrola system on this, but the quality was not good. The response to the strings was not good, and therefore the players were not happy. So what the players were looking for is to try to get the highest quality that they could get. So at that point, what they would do is they would get what's called a Bigsby system. Now, the Bigsby system was quite a bit more expensive, and it took a lot more of hardware type of working in here, altering a little bit of the body and everything in this section here to make that work. And yes, it was better, but still a lot of players were still unhappy and dissatisfied. So then, as years and years went on, they got into the double locking Floyd Rose type of system, where again, you're locking here, locking there. But the problem with that system is it had some very good things about it, but the problems that it would have is that there was not very good string stability. If you ever broke a string on it, it was very, very extremely difficult to get the guitar back into operation in a quick, reasonable amount of time. So a lot of the traditional old-time players, for instance, were not very enamored with the Floyd Rose system. So we were all looking and hoping that someday someone like Ray Olson would come along and create a system that is designed for players who want the ultimate of a tremolo system. And here it is. So now you have a system that is everybody's player's dream. Why is it a player's dream? Because it comes back to perfect pitch. And why does it come back to perfect pitch? Because of the high quality of all the components that are used, all the highest top grade material that Ray and myself, we spent over 2 years in just continually getting the product better and better and better. Now the product is absolutely outstanding. A pleasure to play, beautiful bounce, beautiful response, and raise the string fine, still go back to pitch, lower the string, come back up to pitch, and that's because of the quality of the workmanship, and all the materials are very, very high grade brass materials and other types of metals that are, again, Ray's background, of course, is he was a machinist himself, did a lot of auto detailing, and knows very, very much about machinery and the highest quality types of materials. So having this background and his passion for the guitar, this was a perfect combination to bring this type of wonderful result for you. Now, another thing that's so outstanding about this is that in any other type of tremolo, like say for instance if somebody wanted to put the double locking Floyd Rose tremolo, they would have to do a lot of routing in here. They'd actually have to cut away some of the part of the body. And that, again, a lot of players, especially on a vintage instrument, would not want that. So again, they would be frustrated and realize, I'm going to have a great vintage instrument with a crappy tremolo. Now, with this case, with the Ray Olson system here, this can be installed, and with no extra drilling, no extra modifications. The other outstanding thing about this is that it's not any effort at all. If the player wanted to bring this back with the original tremolo, the original specs on it, would be absolutely no problem to do that at all. It'd be just simply a matter of taking this off and put the other one on. So that way, that any of the damage, any of the additional type of drilling or anything like that of the guitar is unnecessary. Now I'm going to try to get up a little bit close so I can just show you a real close look at this. So, yeah. Can you see it okay? So if you take a look at that system and you can see that the way that it is mounted and everything, that there is no additional drilling or any other type of mounting and everything that's involved in this. This is what makes this, besides the outstanding playability. Now, we've continually upgraded the parts. What about maintenance for this? Guess what? You're going to love it as a player. Why? Because there is no maintenance. No oiling is needed with the product at all. No adjustments, no anything. It's outstanding that way. You don't have to worry about any of those types of things. You just simply, it's a dream. You simply just play it. And now, here's another thing too that is outstanding and revolutionary about the Ray Olson system, that we are very, very excited about it. There is no other system that can accommodate different types of string gauges like the Ray Olson system. So in other words, a lot of the old-time players, for instance, especially the blues style players, they like to have now a little thicker gauge strings. So what ends up happening is that because the traditional tremolos that are on the market, that are out there, will not adjust well to those heavier strings, especially if you're tuning to the standard tuning and not down tuning or down pitching. So what ends up happening here is that the players, again, just kind of give up on the tremolo and frustrated. But with the Ray Olson system, any gauge string, we have taken the 9 to 42 set to traditional, the 9 to 46 set, the 10 to 46 set, the 11 to 48 set, even heavier. All of these the system is so wonderfully designed because of the high grade materials and the way that it mounts, that you will get this same kind of wonderful tremolo response on those thicker gauge strings that a lot of you players out there love. Mark my word, there is no more outstanding tremolo system out on the market. Again, taken us a long time to develop, and we guarantee you play this system, not only will you be thoroughly satisfied, but you'll be thoroughly happy, because your creativity and those ideas that you've had that always incorporated a high-grade tremolo sound will be done perfectly well and with great satisfaction with the Ray Olson tremolo system. So, again, as a player of 40 years myself, I can only imagine if 40 years ago, if us players would have had a system like this, of even more of the creative music and the creative things that we could have done on the tremolo, to not just get it to make certain kinds of sounds, but to do some of the great things that you can do. Listen to people like, like the great Jeff Beck and some other players who do great things with tremolo. So this is, anyway, so you can get a hold of us here. And again, thank you for zoning in and listening to this and everything. Please feel free to call us or inquire if you have any questions about these. Now remember that Ray Olson himself makes these. They're all handmade and hand done. So because of that, it does take a little time to make these. Also, Ray Olson not only does that, but he can also construct a guitar completely from scratch. And if you want to have a guitar made of any types of woods and material, like a lot of very fine luthiers out there, he can do that and put on the Ray Olson tremolo system on there. So, and remember, one last thing is this does have a patent pending. So it's already been U.S. patented, and it is an official product and U.S. patented. So again, everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to hearing from you soon.